Rising, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us this morning. At 9 a.m., we will close our social media and continue on Zoom only. Join us by getting your Zoom link at elizabethvisionaryconference.org. We'll be there until 10 a.m. You can go now, and we'll see you in the Elizabeth Zoom room. Peace. Today, your hosts are Queen Aduni, Danny Stillwell, and Lolly Mariah Tolbert. Enjoy. All right. Again, welcome to Grand Rising, Elizabeth. Good morning, good rising, great standing. Glad to be here.
Yes.
All that good, delicious stuff of life. God is good. We are good. We are one with God. We are one with each other. Let me see.
Yes, we are.
I am. We are wonderful. We are blessed. We are honorable. We are honored. We are love. How about that?
Yes, I like that.
Yeah. That one makes it easier. If we just come from love, we got it going on. We don't have to have all the other stuff because it's all involved in there, right, Lolly?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. We got a couple of guests here. Well, let me see. We had, Mama had Nicole. Hey, girl. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. Good morning. Happy, beautiful Friday.
I know, right?
Yes.
And we have Veronica. I know I'm not saying that right.
Grand Rising Queens, it's Veronique.
Very neat. It is very unique. Very neat.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm multitasking. I'm working and in meetings, so that's why I'm off camera, because I want to be present.
I know, right. Who invited you?
Sky.
Okay, great.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you in a minute. So pop in and out. Mama Het, what's going on, girl? Mama Evelyn.
My clothes.
We're in
Grand Rising, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for being with us, and thank you for one more day.
I know.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I am definitely going to look at my calendar and see if the car's available to come and party with you this evening. To dance? Sounds like a good dancing. Is it dancing tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is
I love
tonight
to
at the
dance.
Johanna Gardens. Yes.
I'm gonna bring my tambourine too.
Yes, bring noise. Bring noise with you. All is welcome.
Yes. Oh my, hey, Sky. Sky's popping in. Lolly, you got something for us this morning? Get us
Yes, I do. All right. So shout out to the multitaskers out there, because that's what we do. Get it done.
Yeah, that's what we do. It's called being a woman. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kelly K.
All right. So let me see. Where is this? All right. So I was reading in this book I have. I practice and I practice and observe many spiritualities, but my main one is Buddhism, Nichiren Buddhism. And so within it, I like to hear what are some universal messages. I like to hear universal messages that could be shared to anybody, in any spirituality, any religion, but just things that we can really use to push us forward. So with that being said, I think this is, okay, yeah. So there was an area of this book. It's just in this little magazine thing. And it was talking about battling devilish functions. And battling devilish functions is the essence of genuine faith. And so I thought it was important to talk about that, just simply because we all deal with things. We all got some craziness going on at some point in our lives. We are all trying to get through. And so how it's described here is devilish functions, right? So when people be like, oh, that's just the devil, right? You know, that's how it's described. It's these things that coming to attack you, to make you feel like you can't get through, to make you feel like you just can't make whatever you need to happen. It's just a lot of different things. And so let's see. I'm trying to find, I was reading it earlier. I should have just underlined it. Let's just clarify here that people's, okay. The secret to faith for battling devilish functions is sharing the mentor's commitment and solidly uniting in purpose with fellow practitioners. The most important thing was to remain united. Devilish functions seek to create schisms. And so sometimes things come up and drive a wedge between the people who are around us. So there was a story that was shared here where it was like, there was a father who didn't agree with his two sons. And he only, my phone, there you go. And he decided to side with one of the sons and left the other one high and dry. All right, well, in this particular case, the son that was favored could have been like, yo, I get all the favor, forget you, I got this. But instead, the brother decided to be united with his brother. And regardless of their belief systems, regardless of what they were dealing with, they worked together to really defeat the devilish functions that was going on in their family. So I really want to find the actual part that I wanted to share. Okay, if we base ourselves, there we go. If we base ourselves on our own fickle, ever-changing hearts, we cannot make our way up steep bridges buffeted by the fierce winds of devilish function. So poetic. We must set our sights on the solid and unshakable summit of attaining Buddhahood, enlightenment, ultimate peace, however way you want to describe it. And continually seek to master our minds. This meaning of the passage, become the master of your mind rather than let your mind master you. Becoming the master of one's mind ultimately means basing oneself on the unwavering foundation of the law. And in Nichiren Buddhism, when they're talking about the law, they're talking about the mystic law, which is the mystic law of cause and effect, and understanding that there's a reason that everything happens. And you play a role in this everything happening. And so understanding that and really being unwavering in that, and knowing that if you have a potential to change what can happen in the future, you're going to stand on that foundation. And you're going to allow your mind, and you're going to allow your mind to focus on being the change versus looking at the changes around you and feeling like you can't get through. So herein lies the importance of sutras, or writings that contain teachings of the Buddha who has awakened and spreads the law. For us as practitioners, mastering our minds means basing ourselves on the Kohanzen and Nichiren's writings. And in Buddhism, it is a teacher or mentor who puts the teaching into practice that helps us connect to the law. Mastering our minds means having a sincere seeking spirit and faith based on oneness of mentor and disciple, and not being ruled by arrogant egoism or self-centeredness. Going back to those brothers. When viewed in terms of the infinite scale of eternity, any event or phenomenon is seen as fleeting as a passing dream. The law, in contrast, is eternal. Allowing oneself to be defeated by devilish functions and straying from this law will be a cause for everlasting regret. In this passage, Nichiren urges his fathers to think of only the Lotus Sutra, to focus on Kosen Rufu, and remain steadfast in their faith for the sake of eternal victory. There was a lot of words that you may not know in here, but I just want to highlight a couple of things real quick. So for the most part, Kosen Rufu, I mentioned that. That's like this world peace. That's this ultimate peace that if let's say everybody in the world could attain this infinite peace within themselves. That's what Kosen Rufu is. And so that is like the end goal, right? So in our lives, as we are dealing with our different situations, understanding the principle of cause and effect, understanding how much power we actually do have internally to get over these obstacles, and how that can affect the entire world, and how the entire world can eventually reach their Buddhahood, enlightenment, absolute happiness, peace, whatever you want to call it, right? And so it's really important to think about that as we're overcoming these devilish functions, whether it be, thinking about in real life, we're talking about cars acting up, not having enough money. I don't know if I can pay rent. I don't know, my family is dealing with some conflict, whatever it is that you're dealing with, really keeping your mindset strong on this end goal of my little piano started playing. Keeping your mind on this end goal of ultimate peace, ultimate happiness, ultimate unity within all people, and knowing that your story is so important for your life journey. It's something that's going to help you get through the next part and help somebody else get through what they're dealing with. And I really liked how they were talking about any event or phenomenon is as fleeting as a passing dream. And it's just like, we go to sleep, we have these dreams, and then we wake up, okay, it's over, right? It's the same thing as we're dealing with our devilish functions in our lives. This is just a part of a story. We're gonna watch the story happen. We're gonna be a part of it. We're gonna do everything in our powers to get over that hump. And then it's gonna be over. You'll be like, what's that? And now it's gonna be another devilish function that comes, and you gotta do the same thing again. But you're keeping this ultimate peace. And so, in this particular practice of Nichiren Buddhism, and just in Buddhism in general, if you study it in any way, it's very poetic. There's a lot of different words and ways of describing things that, make you think about, like, if it's like a dream, or if it's like a plan, or if it's like a lotus, and so it's a lot of different words, but it's all saying the same thing that we're saying in a lot of different faiths and spiritualities. And it's really just finding that ultimate peace, no matter what, unshakable peace. A Soaring Society, amen. They call it amen. It's that ultimate peace. And so I don't know how this affects you today, but I hope that it helps in some way, and that you are able to overcome whatever obstacle, whatever devilish function that is happening in your life. No matter what it is, you have the ability to create happiness for your life. And that is all I have to share for right now.
Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Lolly.
Okay.
Any comments? Anyone got something special out that you want to share?
All of it.
Rising,
for me
Alita.
today.
Pardon me?
All of it for me today.
All of it, huh?
All of it for me today. Yes.
Yay.
Oh, it's a challenge today, my dear, huh?
Mhm.
Already.
Yeah.
Well, you have
Yeah.
victory over it already. Ashe. Well, thanks, Lolly. I'm just seeing my queen sisters popping up in here and just loving it. Thank you, Sky, for bringing the crew on. So I'm gonna what time do we have here? Okay, so what I want to do is I really want us to just kind of, just talk for a minute, give you some of the other people time to come and just share about, like what in this week did you accomplish that forwarded your game of life? What was that one thing that said, yes, I'm on the right track. Yes, or that reminder, something that reminded you. I'll share just one is that many of you know that I'm in the midst of, purchasing a building for the community, and the community is doing it, and blah, 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 and all the things that go along with that. And so some years back, maybe about 4 years back, I was doing the same thing, and I got into this building. And going and preparing and pulling people together, and where the finance is going to come from, putting the business plan together, all of that, all those things that it takes to create this monstrous, it is a monstrous project. So, when some things don't go the way you want it to go, or you have some plans and it doesn't come forth the way you see it, right? So what God had to remind me of is that, I tell the story of when I got into this building and I did not pay anything, no money. Here I am with like 50 people with me, and we get into this building. Like I said, I didn't pay. I had construction people there. I had my architect there. I had, the people who wanted to share the building. We were meeting. All of these things were happening. And then in one day, it all fell apart. Now, the foundation of that falling apart was that then God showed me that I needed to now start all over and create my foundation so that will never happen again. But the thing that was reminding me of when you don't have the money, or you don't have in the sense of it manifesting in your hands or your bank account, right? Because we know that spiritually it's there, because you can see it. If you can see it, it's there. So what has had me going was that God had to remind me that I had a building. He got me in a building, got the people there, the person who was still in the building. The new owner told her to give me whatever I needed. So I had favor. All of those things were working. So God had to remind me, when I look at these milestones, that I have to bite, I have to bite this piece and then bite the next piece so that I can devour it all. Reminded me, remember, Sheila, you had no money. I got you in the building. I got you the keys. I gave you favor. They was helping you do whatever you needed to do. And just to remind me that I did nothing. And I got all of that. And all that God wants me to do now is to come back and bit by bit, walk it out, lay the foundation, do the business plan, get the people, connect with the city, all those things, because the finances are there. So I thought it was like over there, like maybe Sky's got it, maybe Shelly K can do a concert and it'll pull in $7 million. How about that, Shelly? So I thought it was somewhere else, when God reminded me that it's there, being present, and that will show up physically or through favor or through all kinds of things, other things than the money itself. So I had to remind me. So that's what I got this week, was the reminder that there is no limit to what spirit can do, what the universe can do, what God can do, what Yah can do, what Buddha can do, what God wants for us. It is our privilege to set it out. It's our privilege. We get to set it out. So that was my reminder. Remember, you didn't do nothing to get into that building, boo. You had everything. I just needed you to, I needed it to come back, and now let's lay the foundation of it. So, yeah, that was a big reminder, because I can get into, I'm a crybaby. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a crybaby, but I am also a very strong and courageous woman. So, but I can get emotional in a second, boy. That's why I was doing good acting, because I could pull some tears forth. I just think about a dog hitting his foot and I'm ready to cry. So, anyone can share what thing, it doesn't have to be as long as mine was, but I just wanted to share. I wanted you to see the difference, and that God reminded me that this big task that I'm taking on, it's just one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, and just lay the foundation. And once all that is laid, bam, it's there. But it was a reminder of what God has already done for each of us. So what was
Well,
you
Queen, thank
reminded
you for
of?
sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that, because that's very inspirational for me. And to maybe all of us. But I want to share that, yesterday someone texted me and said, I saw a beautiful picture of you. And I said, what did you see? A beautiful picture of me. And then that person said on the Elizabeth Visionary Conference. I said,
Can you turn your camera on?
oh,
Many that can, please do so. So we
okay, I would, but I'm not in a good
Okay.
spot right now for that.
All
But
right.
I would normally. But yeah, but this person I have not seen in 20 years. So, it was very just a good feeling to know that someone saw me out there with the Elizabeths. I said, yay. So yeah, so that was good.
Good. Thanks, Deetra. Nicole.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm so grateful to be here. Sky, thank you so much for inviting us to come and join the Elizabeths. When I saw the meaning of that, I said, that is such a beautiful, beautiful inspiration and enlightenment for all the sisters, to call us Elizabeths. What enlightened me this week was being intentional and managing my time and being prepared. So intentional preparation.
Yeah.
Because, the message this morning from Ms. Lally, she spoke on togetherness and pushing through. And what I gathered from her message was, just to trust the process. And when you trust the process, no matter what shows up, because something's always going to show up.
Yeah.
Every day is a new level. Every level has a layer of something that you have to deal with. And it's all beautiful in its own right, But we have to learn to embrace everything, the negative, the positive. You cannot even start a car without both negative and positive. You need both. But it's learning how to get through both, learning how to embrace everything and trusting the process. And my message today is just to continue in enlightenment and to continue to trust it and not be afraid of what shows up, because it will feel different, whether it's coming through a positive enlightenment or, so to speak, a negative enlightenment. What do I get from it? What am I going to do in it? And just being intentional in my preparation so that I can get through it, and managing my time will help me to be intentional in all things, just like as you speak with your business plan in your business, putting the idea together, writing it down. What are you going to do today? Okay, did you do it? It's just taking the steps step by step so you can climb that ladder wherever you're trying to reach as far as your goal. So that's what that was my journey for the week so far.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, that's so important, that time, and managing that time and being intentional. Anyone else want to share?
Grand Rising Queens. I did want to share this week that God has a way of opening your eyes and letting you see the truth about the things that you so perfectly colored in another light, because it feels good to see it in that light. And when your eyes are open, it makes it that much plainer that you're on the right path. And that's what happened for me this week. So many things have shifted in the last 2 years of my life. And so when I came back home to Detroit, I came back in a different spirit. I came back in a different headspace. I came back in at a different level of my spirituality. And it's exciting for me. God has been dropping opportunities in my life, and I can't express to you what's happening internally for me right now. I can't reach the words right now, but I know that I am so grateful and so thankful, and God is reminding me of the power that lives within me, and the power that I spent so much of my life. And I want you to know, Queen Adundi, I'm a crybaby too. So I'm not going to talk long, but he's reminded me that my ancestors are always there, and they've been trying to get to me for so many years. And for so many years, I've lived in this space of minimization. And I'm so grateful that I'm now connected to that space. And as I'm connected to that space, it's so amazing to just see myself flourish and understand the power of just believing in myself and my abilities and my gifts. And so I'm glad I came, because I needed to hear this message this morning, because it's confirmation for me.
Ashe. Ashe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else want to share?
I'll share.
Okay.
I believe I heard the question about if I did something this week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure, but I'm still breathing. So even if I didn't get it right, then I still have time. I still have a chance to get it right, or to figure out what it is I'm supposed to be doing to get on the right path. And I'm still here. So for me, that means a lot. Not that I was in any point close to death. However, when you would like to not be here and God says no, then the fact that you are still breathing, that I am still breathing, is a step in the right direction.
Yes.
So that is all I want to say.
That's a lot.
That's all you have to say, girl.
Right. I'll say
Sally,
something. I've been lately, since January, actually, when I was in the hospital with that COVID, my family reached out to me and started having me to be on prayer line at 6 o'clock in the morning. And from doing prayer early in the morning, I saw more things open up for me, because it's one thing that I thought I was praying, but it's another to actually pray for things of grace and positive, and pray for other people. That the power of prayer to me is so much stronger now than I've ever, and I've seen so many doors and so many things happen, change my mind about people that I was angry at, and I was like, I ain't never talking to them again. But then I was, through prayer, I was in listening to the Father, that you have to pray even for those that you feel that you shouldn't pray for, or you don't think you should pray for, and see that person turn around from your prayer. So I would just say that I would really even more so encourage for a lot of us to pray for each other, and pray for the world, pray for the country, pray that, that we can all be able to get back together on one accord. And that's my message of love for everyone of today.
Ashe. Thank you. Thank you. Mama Het. We don't hear you, honey.
I got to give my computer a second to come off from mute. You know how it goes.
Okay, okay.
Late. So I wanted to share that this week I was working on, because of the seasons changing. You know, sometimes we're in denial of the season changing. I know it's going to get warm again, but I decided to go ahead and switch from summer to fall clothing. So I took the bins out of my closet and everything was everywhere. My room was so discombobulated. And I didn't even spend, I was supposed to spend the day putting that together for the reset, if you will, for the fall. And I said this time I wanted to launder what I was putting away and launder what I'm getting out. Sometimes we just switch, you know. Just for that, like I said, for that renewal component. And my room was in such disarray that I didn't even spend the day in it. I was like, I'm not gonna deal with this right now, even though my inside, my spirit knew that I needed to take care of all of this. And then it came all at once, everything all at once. And so finally, when I came back to the room, you know, everything was still here, patiently waiting. But I couldn't go to bed until I got it together and got finished with it. Just talking about someone shared yesterday about the leaves falling and how and what purpose that is. And I also wanted to share with the sister that spoke just before Shelley. I didn't catch her name. When as she was speaking, I felt like sometimes when we're younger, or in my experience, I thought, you know, the Holy Spirit was at the church, but when it gets inside of you and it's everywhere you go, I felt like she was experiencing that just then, that the Holy Spirit just got a hold of. And it's not just in certain places.
Yeah.
It lives in you. And we have to learn to allow it to be awakened, you know, because it's already there. It's just up us being open to it. And I believe the Holy Spirit is the feminine. I'm just saying. I just want to
I'm
put that.
just saying. I'm just saying. That's funny because that's what we were in our class taking the reading through the Course in Miracles. And that's the very thing that we had a substitute teacher, and that was what she was sharing, is that that the Holy Spirit is feminine. You know, just what you were saying about the feminine, the energy, because you have to have both in order to create. Da, 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 da. So that was like, so we were reading in our reading when we would see capital HE, when he was talking about the spirit, we would change it to she, and we was changing, instead of you, we were changing it to I. You know, everything became real personal and such like that. Yeah. Well, anyone want to share? And then I'm going to go into my partner, friend, love, singer, dynamic. Heart is
I like to share.
Yes, dear. Oh, well, I was
Oh,
going to introduce you. Are you sharing on our topic, what we're talking about before I?
yeah, I'm,
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sharing on the topic. I'm
Yes.
sharing on the topic this week. Um, that this week well, this is a question that I ask myself every day. But in recent times, I want to be able to chop my house, chop the facade of my house, and be how I am on the inside, on the outside. I don't want I want the same conversation whether you're with me or not with me. I want to be that
Yeah.
in front of Yah. That's how I want to be. So I've been asking myself every day that is there any nutritional value in what I'm producing? That's so important to me, to the point where if it's not, then I have to eliminate it. Because at this point, being 51, I'm grateful to Yah for this time, that everything that I produce, it has to have some nutritional value to it, or I can't use it anymore. And that's where I'm at. And that's what I've been just floating on for pretty much. I've been in kind of a hibernation mode since I guess Wednesday. So that would be just a few days, but just reflecting on, okay, this what are we going to what are we feeding our peers, our family, and our community? What are we really feeding each other? So that's where I've been, and that's been my homework too. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Your practice.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Practice doing it every day, being it every day.
Every day. Yeah, make it a habit. Make it a habit.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sky,
We lost a
I
couple
wanted
of.
Sky, I just wanted to share with you that ever since I met you, you have always
Mm.
been the divine feminine for me. You know, when I see you, I like to bow just to give respect to that energy. It's just so many years of just watching you in your spirit and in your stride and in your walk. So I just want to let you know that I appreciate you
I
and
appreciate you.
celebrate you for being on
Thank you,
our life.
beloved.
You, baby.
Thank you, beloved. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, I think that most of us on here, Faith went on, and Nicole, I don't know where she went. But
Nicole had to go to work.
oh, okay,
So yeah, she bowed out. Mhm.
okay, and I saw
Yes.
Faye, and then I didn't. So maybe she'll
Faith.
come back. Faye Bradford. Did she write something in the? But anyway, like I said, everybody on here knows Sky and what she brings to the community. And this in particular, you know that we did Hug Detroit today. This is her baby. Hug Detroit is her birth. And I am the doula. And what Sky has been working on, and it's been in her mind for years. Before I even knew, Sky was doing Billie Holiday. Every year she would do tributes and stuff. And I didn't know that it was leading up to, I don't know if she knew that as well, but I think she did, leading up to the Satin Dolls. That you know, she does different singers and vocalists and stuff, but now she has put it all together, and it's all coming out. So what I wanted Sky to do is to share, you know, when we talk about Elizabeth, we talk about the conception. When was it conceived? Satin Doll, what has been the process? Because it did not all of a sudden show up. It didn't, it can't do that. And if it does just all of a sudden show up, it's going to fall apart because everything has to go through the birthing and the development part. That was when I was talking about all of a sudden, bam, I got this building, bam, I'm in the building, bam, bam, bam. And then was like when it came to ready to make that big step, there was nothing, no foundation. So I'd like to ask first to thank Sky for coming on and inviting some of the other sisters to come on and to share what was the birthing process? When did that baby come forth? When was it in there and start growing and to where it is now? And where are we going? We'll get to all of those bit by bit. Okay, so let me just tell you this real quick. I went to Tower of Power last night, which was amazing. Okay, that's it. Yes.
excuse me, Queen Aduni, we have a lot of extra noises going on, and that's going to affect the recording. So if people could mic mute until they're talking, that would really help with the sound, so we can hear you clearly.
Okay, Sky. Thanks, Mama Hip.
So this part here is the part of what I used to want when I was younger. I used to watch the PBS, and you would have the director or the singer, and they would have this interview, and people would want to know about how it happened. Well, this is my moment with all and in front of all of the queens. So I have to say I'm trying to separate being humble and smart and intelligent. Sometimes humility, I get it mixed up because I have to tell my story, and sometimes I just want everybody to know what happened, but I do have to explain it. And I just want you to know, because we're all walking the same exact path. So mine started when I saw Lady Sing the Blues. That's when it happened. When I saw Diana Ross perform Billie Holiday. That was like a life-changing experience for me. And I dove in, and everything after I saw that movie. I didn't understand the story of the movie until later on, which that's a whole nother story. But I started with Diana Ross. I admired her as a jazz singer. She was always a jazz singer to me. I adapted. I bought her album. I listened to it. I listened to every artist that did anything about Billie Holiday, like Etta James and Mickey Howard. And it was just as simple as just listening to and seeing this woman play another woman so effortlessly. And I admired that. Diana Ross made me, which I had already loved Billie Holiday. So I love Billie Holiday, but again, I love Billie Holiday after Diana Ross had presented her to me. So I again bought the book, the Billie Holiday book. I just studied her. I studied, and that was the birthing process. That was the love part, the chemistry, the sensuality, we had a love affair. And it was a deep, beautiful love affair. And I have to say, in any love affair, you have your ups and your downs. I was actually at one point, I mimicked Billie Holiday. I mean, even one time I tried heroin. I sniffed it. It didn't do anything for me, and I was so afraid of being like that. But I wanted to experience a lot of the things that she experienced, and I went to great lengths to understand her, even the way I love was a lot like Billie Holiday, how I perceived it. I was almost like I called it a live art installation. And if anybody know me in the past, they know that I was intently living life. I was licking the streets of living life and being young. And I ate it all up, And so a lot of that I mimicked from reading the book, Billie Holiday book. All praises to the Most High that in falling in love with Billie Holiday. It left some scars. Um, it left some scars, but I didn't. I'm living. I'm breathing, and I get to tell her story and her peer's story. Um, so it's to talk about the Satin Dow review and to be as transparent, as open in front of y'all and in front of my sisters as I can be. I wanted to take that feeling of what they experienced, and I wanted to bring it to today. And it was intently that Shelley and I, we worked together uh, on some of the first shows with Lady Day. And I mean, and we were in it. We were trying to capture a moment, and I adapted myself to Lady Day the same way. I hung on her every raspy tone, her mannerisms. You know, if anybody know, when I do a show, I wear the same dress. I got that from Lady Day. I never in all the years that I performed Billie Holiday, I've only worn one dress. So imagine the energy on that dress every time I put it on. I turn into a superhero. So the incubation process for me, me being an artist, now that I can understand it, is a bit of idol worship. You know, I had to repent from all of that, and that's why now what I'm trying to do is not be the experiment is over. So now it's prime time, you know. So the it's prime time. So we go in there as professional as possible. We love on each other in the dressing rooms and everything. But I know that people are watching, and that I owe. I went through all the sacrificial stuff to get this production. We've been through all the sacrificial stuff because it wasn't just me. We've all in the production have had lives and have grown into these great storytellers and spiritual recipients is what I understand myself to be now. That I owe everything that I went through, those patterns of trying to put this production on, so maybe somebody else don't have to go through that. And I tell people now, you don't have to live a person's life to tell their story. I personally went through it a little bit. I wanted to be Billie Holiday, you know, and I came out of it. Came out of it with a husband and a few other little blessings that Yah has given me, and to see the Satin Dow on stage, to see how humble it has made me, to see how all of the queens are women that were just as complicated as me, and to see me move past being being afraid to share. I'm a share person. I'm a very share. I will share everything. I'll give you everything off my back. You can have everything. But I started listening to this narrative that women, that you don't work with women. I listened to that, and I protected myself from all of that until one day, you know, in my prayers, like Shelley was saying, when you pray, I just realized that's not scripture. That's not that is a lie. That was something to keep us, like they keep us from our men. It was something to keep us from our sisters, from creating this community. And so I let that go too, of being shy to make friends and open up to women. And And I think to say that, I would have to say that I was a lesbian for 18 years. So that I had to free myself from all of those things too before I even decided to work with a group of women. So the relationships that I have in my life now, they're very healthy, strong. In my mind, there's no ill intent. There's no confusion. So I treated myself to the Satin Dial review. I knew that I was ready to work with quality people. I knew that my spirit was ready to do that. I knew that I had cleansed myself from some demons that I had been dealing with, and I wanted to make this thing happen. And so we started with just how do we do it, Shelley? We started we started with Billy.
Deanna Wheaton.
Yes, we started with Deanna Wheaton, and it's Deanna Wheaton, Nina Simone Neal, and myself. But before that, I did the Billie Holiday tribute alone for 19 years.
Yeah.
I did it every year for 19 years. And I did all of the stuff to go, because you can't do Billie Holiday without some demons and some visitors and some energy coming into your space. You can't do that, to do Billie Holiday. It was a great, it was like I passed through this portal of some sort, and I don't want to confuse it, because not that it was, we understand my conversation, so I don't have to dummy down with what I'm saying. I know that we all have been through some portals, but that Billie Holiday, she took me through it. Then I thought I was bad, and I thought I was going to do Billie Holiday, and I thought I was going to do Nina Simone review, because I started doing her. But Nina Simone, I was like, no, I ain't grown enough for Nina. I had to pass Nina on to Faye Bradford, because that Nina, she whooped my tail. Let me tell you, doing Nina and learning those lyrics and really knowing who she was. So I backed out of that. So I backed out of trying to do because you ain't ready to. That's another thing too. We a lot of times and I've learned some songs are not for you. Some songs are not for you. You can't sing everybody's song. You can't do that. So I learned that too. Well, Billie Holiday, not getting into astrology because I let all that go. But she was April 7th, I'm April 6th. So I always felt like it was a strong connection. Like, she's me. Like, that sort of thing when you're young and impressionable. It wasn't that she was me, it's she's us. We are women. So I was just seeing stories of how one woman handled the situation, and it just really rung true to me. So all of the making love and tangling and going through the thing in the 19 years and the rebirths of growing up and becoming a woman. Now I'm a woman, and I want to share this story with all the women that I admire and love, and all the women that, like Shelly K, her story is, Shelly has an amazing story. And when I was younger, I didn't even understand. We're around the same age, but I just didn't understand my sister's story because I was living another type of lifestyle in my head, so I couldn't really understand a lot of my sisters until I got my head together and started really becoming more community and more conscious of what I'm putting out there. My whole life, whole spirit, everything changed. So, and then, so with, I mean, seeing Shelly K's story, and, you know, sometimes I felt that I missed out on some important parts of my sister's lives that I could have been available for, but I wasn't ready either to be that, you know. So Shelly has an incredible, Tasha, incredible story. Kimmy Horn, Dornetta Davis, Nina Simone, all of my beautiful sisters. Now we have the beautiful Veronique and our another sister. We haven't even discussed her story, but I already know that this sister is us. And I'm not really into pronouns, but if I had pronouns, it would be us, we, and, you know, ours, you know, that sort of thing. But so fast forward, sitting here with you all today. I'm shaking a little bit because my body is so alive, because me being able to talk to you means that I have passed a little portion of the test that Yah has prepared for me and for us. So my whole body is alive, and it's not nervousness. It's that I'm living, that I have a testimony. Yes. And so the Satin Down Review, we did the show. It was great. The 3 women, it was great. Then it was the 4 women, Ad and Ella. But then it was a cosmic lineage connection when we all hit that stage together, and how we were we had, what is it? We teleported. We were not in this realm. We was not here. We was there. And every time we do the show, it's true. Every time we do the show, we go back. Mm-hmm. We go back. And so that's the thing. I don't know what else to say after that. The show is our love letter to the past, and it's our love letter to our youth, and to a love letter to our elders who want to be, you know, who we want to teleport, you know.
Yeah.
That kind of rounds it up. You can ask me questions and stuff, but kind of rounds it up.
Mama Head, and then I want to introduce Shelly K to come on into the conversation. Mama Head.
So to our satin dolls, our sisters who are in the present moment, helping us to understand and understand the past, do you all feel like that the energies that you are sharing, our ancestors, our singcestors, I'll say, do you feel like they have messages that they're asking you to share with the audience or with people who are hearing you? Do you feel like they're speaking through you to give messages?
Good question.
Good question.
I would really like to answer that, because that is like the thin line for me, and that's where that nutritional value, because for example, I needed to stop drinking. So I did like 53 days, and I wasn't drinking, and I was, you know, just trying to like detox and everything. And I had to do the Satin Down Review show. And I that night I struggled, y'all. I struggled because I'm like, if I'm going to do the Satin Down Review, and if we're going to do this incredible event, and it's going to get bigger and bigger, I'm not even going to share my fear, because I don't want the unknowns to hear my fear. But what I would say is I have to be careful with not bringing Billie Holiday into it, because she's resting, and just and keep the music. You know what I mean? Let the music be the message, and not mess with her in her resting. So that's a great question, because doing jazz,
let that part rest.
Let the sleeping dogs.
You stay laying down. I just want the vocal.
Yeah, that's a great question, because in doing this production, I sometimes pray to God that, if I'm getting too invested into trying to be Billy again, like I was when I was younger, because that brings certain dramas, that's one thing that me personally, I have to be careful of doing.
So you want to make sure that you share the gift and not necessarily what she went through to get
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
nurtured. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because I did the experimentation and all that. I did everything Billy did, with the girls, all of that. I did the whole thing. I had to experience, it was a thing that she peed in the alley. I had to go pee in the alley to see how that felt. I mean, I was invested. You know what I mean? I was young. I was in my 20s, but I'm telling you, I'm being as honest as I ever am. That yeah, you got to be careful with that. So
Hey,
Right.
that was a great
You
question.
was doing your character
feed
research.
the street.
Oh yeah.
Shelly K, sisters, I want y'all to know, I love this lady. And I find out more and more about her as she goes through her challenges of life, and challenges that I wouldn't wish on anybody, so she is definitely a shero to me as I learn more and more about when you learn more and more about what a person is going through and what they have overcome that you don't know, because all you see is, this person do whatever of that person. And then you find out how they became what they've gone through to be in your presence right then and there. And you see the miracles that God has done in more than your own life, that other people have gone through challenges even greater than yours if we want to compare, but Shelly K is a dynamic singer, and she was always so quiet that I didn't know that she could sing like that, and I didn't know about her history of the Motown and her dad and all of that. But her and Sky, actually all the sisters that I invited on and all of you are just beautiful souls. And, I thank God all the time that we decided to come here and meet with each other again. Because I'm sure we've passed in past lives, we've passed one another. And so here we are again. So I want Shelly to jump in on her. I want y'all to know I'm having Shelly come on another time because some other subjects I need to talk to her about, which is about, what she's gone through medically and physically with her body and the hospitals, and, that conversation that we have at other times about natural being holistic and versus dealing with the medical system. So we'll have her on to talk about that. But this sister can sing her Ascola off. You hear me? You hear me? And so I'm so glad that she partnered up with, she's one of the Satin Dolls, because she deserves to be there. Sky is one hell of a singer. Sky is one of my favorite singers as it relates to, I don't know too many people who can ad lib on the spot and it all makes sense. Like she sat there and wrote it for 20 days. It just comes right on out at ad lib, make it up on the spot. And so the same with my my girl Shelly K. So I want you to come on in and share. You share whatever you want to. You can go from what we were just talking about.
When everybody comes next week, they can find out who my history when they come next week.
Yeah, but we're gonna talk about Satin Doll.
But for the Satin Doll, I was so elated when Sky called me and asked would I be a part, because I was already seeing, I think I was the early Billy back on 1515 when you first was doing Billy, and you had me, was I the early Billy, Sky? that you had me up there, or was I the spirit of Billy?
You were the spirit of Billy.
Right.
You was the spirit.
When
Yeah.
I was a part of that, it was already exciting, one thing. But then when I started seeing you do the satin dolls with Deanna, I was like, what? I want to do this. I want to be a part. And when you called me, I was so excited. If my back wasn't broke, I would have ran around the room. So, so for me to have to be a part of this, I'm shy when it comes to women because I've had problems with women, with sisters, as far as, you know, the back talk. So I've kind of withdrawn myself from women. So to be a part, this is a process of helping me to try to, you know, open up and like even being a part of this, to try to open up and not to be so withdrawn, and being Ella and me learning about Ella, which once again, I thank the production for me to be a part of the Ella. It was Marilyn Monroe that gave Ella her first break. And I was like, wow, really? Because you would always think that, you know, the black and white thing back in that time, and it was Marilyn that pulled her up in there, and Ella was doing numbers, and she talked about her weight, and she didn't think that, you know, she fit in. And I was like, wow, I can relate to this. So it's a blessing for me to be able to be a part of this.
Shelly, there's a lot of background. We have two speakers,
Oh, that's me.
Okay, thanks. Go ahead, Shelly.
So it's a blessing, and to be able to bring music that people want to hear. I think to me that's the most I hear everyone talk, is that compared to what's out there, the music that's out there now, to what now this production brings, is a world of difference, as well as people get to breathe and come and enjoy themselves in order to have some wholesome music, wholesome people that they can turn around and be around. And I am honored to be a part of that production team. Not production team, that team.
Yeah, Mama Head was asking before I kind of jumped in there, Shelly, that do you feel like, who do you play?
I'm Ella Fitzgerald.
Ella, right. Do you feel like Ella is wanting to share something as our ancestor wanted to share something through you? Do you feel that, you know?
I felt, for one thing, it was, and this is for me being a healthy lady, that I used to feel when I'm looking at Ella on stage, she was comfortable in her skin. And I was always uncomfortable because of my weight, that I felt like, you know, I wouldn't, you know, being, you know, in the midst of these beautiful, voluptuous, you know, that I felt like I wouldn't be, it made me not comfortable. But Ella stood her stage, and that, you know, and because of that, she stood out, and that's helps me with, you know, with me, how I feel of being on stage. So yeah, I would think that that's Ella making anybody, and anybody to look at me, be like, oh, that girl, I don't care, you know, she wearing that dress, or she wearing that, you know, and I'm like, well, yeah, Ella did it. So yes, I think that's who that helps me relate and put it out there. I said, that was a good question.
Awesome. Star?
Okay, my question is, I think it's a two-part question, or two questions in one, I'm not sure. Okay, how many satin dolls is it, and who are the singers that you guys are singing their music?
So the number right now is 9, because we have a new one. We've just added Nancy Wilson, the beautiful Veronique will be playing Nancy Wilson. So we're very excited about that. But the Satin Doll review, with it being there's no rule. So, you know, ultimately, with the budget allows, there will maybe someday be 14 or 15. We're not, but I don't want to But right now, to answer the question, yeah, we have 9. So we have Carmen McRae, played by Nicole Comer. We have Ella Fitzgerald, played by our queen Shelley Kay, Ella Fitzgerald. We have Faye Bradford, played by Nina Simone, played by Faye Bradford. We have Betsy Smith, played by Thornetta Davis. We have Sarah Vaughn, played by Kimmy Horn. We have Nina Simone Neal, Dinah Washington, played by Nina Simone Neal, and Etta James, played by Tasha Owens, and myself, played by Billie Holiday. We also
Billie
have
Holiday played by yourself.
Billie Holiday play, yes, because I'm not trying, yeah. Which Karina Dooney said, and we have the Duke Ellington trio,
Yes.
with Gerard Gibbs playing Duke Ellington, Ibrahim Jones, and we have Terrence Neal on drums playing Chet Baker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. And Sky, you also have the male version of the Satin Dolls, and they are called that show with the brother.
Yep, we had to do the show for the men, so I created a show called Take 5. 5 jazz greats play 5 jazz legends. So we have Sammy Davis, who hosts the show, played by Sam Burtz. We have Paul King, Frank Sinatra, played by Paul King. We have David Green, played by, Louis Armstrong, played by Charles Green. Miles Davis, played by Alan Denard. And Ben Sharkey plays Dean Martin.
Oh, wow. What is Smoke?
Yeah, my apologies. And Smoke Jones plays Nat King Cole.
Oh, yeah. He has such
Yeah.
a smooth voice. I
He
haven't
sure does.
seen that show yet. So I gotta go and see that. These sisters are amazing. And so Veronique, did I say it? Veronique? No? Am I saying your name right? Veronique? No? Yes? Can you hear me? Y'all don't hear me?
Veronique, unmute yourself, beloved. Veronique.
Okay,
Okay.
wait, hold on.
Thank you.
Hold on 1 second.
I love you, beloved. Thank you, Shelly.
Shelley, you gotta
Thank
go.
you, Queen. Thank you, Ella.
Where are you going? Wait a minute. Hold on. What's going on?
I have a doctor's
Mama
appointment.
Veronique looks like she in the classroom talking to some students. That's what it
I
looks
know,
like.
right? Well, hey. Oh, Shelley, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for dropping by.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
guys. Much love.
Love,
Take care,
love.
Shelley.
Thank you, beloved.
Take care, Ella Fitzgerald.
Okay. Veronique, I want to hear from her, your background, dear.
Okay.
Sky, you want to introduce her? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Sky.
So this young lady here, first it was her spirit, and then we have a lot of friends in common, and but her spirit is just infectious, and then she will come down to Woodbridge Pub, and She is a phenomenal singer and she plays the piano. Okay.
I think, is she talking? Veronique,
Veronique, we don't hear you, darling.
we don't hear you.
Take it off mute. You're on mute.
You're muted. Unmute
We
yourself
can't hear
and
you.
you unmute.
We can't hear you.
Let me maybe let
Okay, sweetie, unmute yourself and bring yourself back on camera.
well maybe I should write it in the chat.
She didn't got in her zone, honey.
Yeah, she was gone, boy.
Zone.
We missed some delicious conversation there.
We need to learn to read lips.
I know we really do. Her name is Veronique Grice, everybody.
Veronique.
Yes. And she is a great singer and a very beautiful queen. She's very humble, very giving and caring. And so I wanted, I saw Nancy Wilson when I heard her voice. I imagined her singing Save Your Love for Me. And I just watched her energy and just kind of put it out there in my head that that she would be, you know, if she wanted to, that she would be the one that I would approach to play Nancy Wilson. And then I asked her, and she was elated. But we can't.
I got a question while we fill the space.
Okay.
What song was the one that drew you in, and what song is your favorite? And it's got to be maybe two different songs, or maybe it's the same. But what song drew you in? Which one was the calling song? And which song is the one that just is the epitome of you and these ancestors mixed together? Oh, there's Miss Bernie. Miss Bernie, we need you to turn that unmute your mic. Okay, when you ready, because we saw you talking. We didn't know if you were talking to us.
She might be in another meeting, maybe.
That's what I thought. I could feel it. I could feel she was talking to somebody.
Okay. So the song that resonated immediately when I saw Diana Ross, it was let me say, and it was In My Solitude, because I being that whole dark skinned thing when we were coming up, my sister and I were of course with a lot of melanin, and my mother was lighter skinned, and so we and when I was younger, I felt that song because I felt like we were invisible. So that song, In My Solitude, was the song that just kind of grabbed me, because I could just kind of create these worlds, but then the song Good Morning Heartache was the song that really just took me, because you know, you're young, your hormones are. Oh yeah, she's in a conference call. I figured that. And so Good Morning Heartache, which now I totally would never do that song. I would never do that song in any of my shows because of the despair that song brought me when I used to sing it when I was younger. And I had to always remember, you got to remember what songs you choose to sing all the time. So just imagine Billie Holiday singing Good Morning Heartache night after night after night after night after night, the kind of despair those words could bring to her spirit. So I let that song go. But those were the two songs initially that just kind of, ruffled my others. And then as I became more of a woman, one more song was The Man I Love, because that song there was like, you know, when I was ready to fall in love with the husband that I'm with now. I was listening, I was with him way when I was younger, and that was kind of that song that kind of catapulted my love for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I got one more. I want to challenge you to, like, for the one you said, Good Morning Heartache was one that was the one that you wanted to make, that you did, but it's different now. For the resonation for you is different for it now. So I want to challenge you, if you are so moved, to maybe write some new words to Good Morning Heartache. I don't know. That just popped up in my
You know
spirit.
what? You know what? I received that. That's a great, and I'm just a person to turn that lemons into lemonade. I like that, Mama. I really do. That's beautiful. I am going to, and the next time I see you, I'm going to sing it to you too.
You know I'm gonna be ready.
That's an excellent question.
Well, I was just thinking, this is why I'm laughing because
Same for you, Veronique.
Mama
You
had
ain't out of it. I'm gonna do the same for you.
Mama had. So I was gonna say this other thing, but I said to myself, I can't say that about Sky. Because you know, he said, the next time I see you, I'm gonna sing it for you. Because if you were to walk in the door, if she used to walk into your space right now, she would sing it and bring it off the top of her head. Off the top of her head, she would just put new words in there. That's the one thing I just totally admire about Sky. You know, so any other person, I would say, you know, well, yeah, but what if she walked in right now? You're gonna have a song for her? She would. She'd put the music on. Here we go.
That's such an excellent idea, and I thank you for that, because those words, though, that song is so sad. You know, it's such a sad song. You know, it's you. Good morning, heartache. Like, here we go again. You know, the just to marry your abuser, pretty much, to just say, you know what, I give up. Yeah, let's just do this terrible, let's have this terrible love affair forever.
Yeah.
You know, that's how
Yeah, a lot of
I see the song. Let's have this terrible.
Yeah, but
a
that
lot of
good
the
morning
songs that
heartache
I
could
oh
be
go ahead.
because this is the last day I wake up with you. This is the last day. The whole, just turn that whole thing. Good morning, heartache. Oh, we're gonna deal today. That's we're gonna bury your butt. Oh, okay. So are you back with us, Miss Lady Veronique?
I am. I
Okay,
apologize, ladies.
so
I totally forgot to turn my camera off.
so how has this been since you are, because you haven't done the show yet. So what are your expectations, your excitement? How do you feel about Nancy Wilson? It's one of my favorite. I used to wish Nancy Wilson was my mommy. Philip, he teases me about that all the time. I would watch her and I was like, I wish she was my mommy when I was little. So anyway, yeah.
So let me just start by saying I met Sky many years ago when I first started my outward musical journey in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was so incredibly amazing.
Yes.
I heard her sing and I was like, who is that? And I got to meet her, and I never shared this with you, Sky, but it was at that moment that I knew that there was something incredibly powerful about your gift and your feminine energy. And I say ashe to you. When she came to me and she asked me to do Nancy Wilson, first of all, Nancy Wilson, let's start there.
Yes.
Powerhouse. But she said to me, I said, Nancy Wilson, are you sure you want me to do Nancy Wilson? She said, yes, you embody her to me. I'll take it. I will take it. But Nancy Wilson has for so many years been so, I love her. And so I'm excited. I've been studying, I've been watching interviews, I've been watching mannerisms on stage. I'm excited. Probably about 10 years ago, I would have said I'm intimidated. But now, where I am in my life at 53, I welcome the challenge.
Yeah.
Because she is so amazing. And her story is just beautiful. And I'm nervous because this is the first time that Sky is popping my jazz cherry. But I am excited about it. There's been a spiritual connection as I sit in front of my TV and I just go through YouTube and I'm looking at things and I'm just really wrapping my mind around understanding when she does certain things with her mouth or when she looks off into space and her eye movements. And I'm trying to imagine what she's possibly thinking about in that moment when she's singing that verse.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I am beyond excited, and I'm honored because these powerhouse sisters, these divas on this stage, and when I sat in the audience for the first time, I got to go to the show when I first moved back to Michigan in I moved back in 2019, but I saw the show in 2020. And I'm sorry, what was it? It was somewhere when I first got back. But anyway, and this was my face. Let me just take my glasses off because when I go out, I don't wear the glasses. I was sitting there like this. Wow.
Yeah.
And I just had to walk and just touch everybody. Just touch me. Just let me grab some of that energy. And I don't touch everybody. And I know the queens on this call understand about energy transfer. I don't touch everybody. Everybody can't come into my space, whether I'm outside and everybody can't come to my apartment. That's just not happening.
Mm-hmm.
But when I feel comfortable enough to touch you, I met Shelly Kay years ago. Same energy. So I'm just honored. Nina has been my sister for many years. I'm honored to be on stage with these powerful queens. And I pray that I can honor the Satin Dolls show with a performance that embodies Nancy, but also that I can give my truth in my interpretation of who Nancy Wilson is to me. So I know that was a lot, but I just needed to say that.
That was perfect. That was perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I know as soon as there's it's a teaching, but it's that's been put into words that once you accept something, it is happening right then. So it's like at the moment that I said I'm going to California for Nawili's birthday. When I said that, when I at the moment I'm serious and I start purchasing things and preparing things for that, you're in it already. That trip has already started. Once you do one thing that is for that thing. So so I guess what I'm saying is like when you're going to go on a trip, when you buy the ticket, it's in there. You're there. You're there. Once you start wrapping your mind about what am I going to wear? What am I going to do this? And you're sitting there watching, her gestures, her character, getting to know who she is. why she responds in a certain way. That's some deep study. That's some pro stuff, girl, that you're doing. And yeah, so once you take it on, you say, be it unto me, be it unto me.
Be it unto me, yes.
Then you get pregnant. So you're pregnant with what's her name? Nancy Wilson. You're going to be picking up stuff that you hadn't even, wow, that's what she would have done just automatically. Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Good casting, Sky. Good typecasting.
Thank you. Yes. Well, and you know, it everything now is because we're wise enough to know that the resistance is like a mental to resist what's inevitable is what I'm learning, what becoming a woman is for me. And sometimes your Holy Spirit will just tell you what to do. It'll just tell you what to do. Sometimes I can just go on. I'm asking y'all to help me with this. I want to be on autopilot and just let my Holy Spirit just kind of guide me through this mission, because I don't know when my number is up, and everybody's number is going to be. Everybody gonna get a turn. So, but I just want to say with Veronique, it was just inevitable for her to be in the show. Like, really, like when I just saw that she's like, okay. And I'm thinking for the show, like maybe, you know, just us talking about it and everything. And you, Queen Aduni, started talking about the birth, the Elizabeth. Cause at first we didn't understand it was over our head because we weren't there yet, Queen Aduni. In the first couple of the conferences, you know, it was like birthing. What are you talking about? I'm a barren woman. I'm not birthing anything. You know, I haven't birthed anything. You know, and I used to just think like I wouldn't allow myself. I resisted because I was a barren woman. But then I really don't say I'm a barren woman anymore, because you are correct. We have birthed so many things. And even though I don't have children out of my womb, I have children out of my womb through that's disguised as other things. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I get it, but I have to admit that I was a resistor. My Holy Spirit said, go this way, I'll go that way. You say, put this show on, I put that show on. It says, don't go out tonight, I stay out until the next day. You know, so when like for example, when Kimmy Horn, I didn't know that you could do this, by the way. Kimmy Horn taught me something. She saw the show. All of a sudden, I got a text from her. Then I got an email from her from an old email. Then I got another email from her. Then I got, she DM'd me. And then it was another thing, but her consistency, because I was thinking, you know, we're gonna do this show. It's just gonna be short and sweet. We're gonna do our show. We're gonna do our 3 or 4 jazz artists. But then it was like then our sisters, my big sisters, were coming and saying, Sky, I gotta be in this show. Kimmy Horn, I gotta be in the show. Mm-hmm. And she was so humble, like I was gonna say, well, no, you know, this show is not for you, Kimmy. I'm like, of course. What do you want?
Yeah.
It was, and let me tell you, when she was calling, I was shocked. I was tongue-tied when she was calling, asking me, because she was texting me. I saw the text But my spirit, it was like, my spirit was like, go ahead and answer the text. I'm like, that's not really happening. No, she's asking you, oh, did she email me? This not really happening. I'm gonna just wait. I'm gonna pray about it. What are you praying about? Because Kimmy Horn want to be in the show, and this is like every time a sister of high quality comes and connects with me, then that makes my quality higher. This is how I'm looking at it. So, and it's like more than another sister coming and she got high quality and she's coming and she's, you know, rubbing shoulders with me. And then my quality is even higher. So I've always gauged my self-worth sometimes on who I'm around. You know, and so, you know, when we look even in the chat, when we look at like even on my Facebook page, I like my Facebook page because I'm like, I got all the chiefs. It ain't no excuse. Well, you know, it ain't no excuse for me not to get up the next day because I have so many. I don't want to call them monsters, but giants.
Children. It's almost like children.
Yes, like
what your womb was full of. You know the result.
Yes, all of this. Yes, all of this. All these great people around me, and then the show is just going to be, and the show is going to be off Broadway. This show is not even. The show is. This is just a little increments of what is ultimately going to be something that people will remember. And a little something that we can leave behind. And even if, say, hey, you know, Billie Holiday, I'm gonna have to, you know, then we'll get someone else to play Billie. But we're on to something for the Satin Doll Review. We really are.
Intimate. It's nice and intimate.
It's transform. It's time travel for me. That's the word I was saying. I was saying something else but yes, it's time travel.
Okay,
so
thanks,
Scott, I
Star.
feel like I'm one of your children. I feel like I'm a daughter of you because I just embraced the way
Mama
you,
Head, we
whenever
can't
you
we
were in
can't
your
hardly
classroom,
hear
you
you.
were always just gave. Am I not? Yeah. You just gave 110, and so I can say that I'm one of your babies because as far as a performing artist, I just remember how you used to just give, just
Oh
be
yeah.
a part of whatever the project you were in. So I'm one of
Oh
your
yeah.
babies.
You know, we stripped it down. We took it off. You know, and we still taking it off. We just doing it like grown people. But we took it all off.
Star, you
Thank
want to share?
you. Thank you, beloved.
Yes, I wanted to say that I had heard this man say something about Denzel Washington, where they were on the doing a film together, and Denzel didn't speak to this guy the whole time they were doing the film. And so when the premiere came, and he spoke to the guy and he gave him a hug, and he said, and the guy said, he told Denzel, I thought you didn't like me. And Denzel said, well, you were a cop, so I could not converse with you because you were a cop. And so what the man realized is that that's mastery, because the whole time he was in character. And I say that because you Satin Dolls, when you get on stage, from the conversation that you've been saying, that you studied these people. So you are no longer Sky Covington when you hit that stage. You are Billie Holiday, and you are no longer Veronique Grice. You are Nancy Wilson. Is that Nancy Wilson? So you guys just completely become. It's not that you're just doing the music. You completely become them when you hit that stage, and that I admire that. I've never seen the show. I've heard that it's awesome. But I admire that you guys are, I'm sorry, not you guys, you queens actually become them when you hit that stage.
Yeah. And you see it more and more when one goes up and then the next one comes up and Sky's got it all theatrically, the stage and what it looks like and such, where they actually sit and go into character, waiting to come up. And oh, it's really a great, marvelous production. Juanita, you want to share?
Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Thank you for work you're doing. That is,
You're breaking up, Juanita.
Maybe it's better. Am I still breaking up?
Go ahead and
Okay.
share.
Okay, so that we all stand on, but especially you, Sky. I hear you saying that, with each of these endorsements, I'll call it, for lack of a better word right now, it's increasing your own, the power of these accomplished performers. Is more than performer, but your greatness and your place in the greatness of God, the manifestation becomes more evident. It's a greatness that's there. It just becomes more evident, and becomes maybe more empowered. But I don't know if you ever knew that Martha Reeves, how she kind of promotes you. Are you aware of that? I don't know. She may not be able to hear me.
She said,
Can you hear you? Yes, it's an honor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
I asked because you know that part of my commitment to being a part of us is to be part of the healing for our people. And so I made that commitment to God, the vision of the spirit of Detroit in mind, the healing of the spirit of the people of Detroit. I asked Martha, I said, how do I connect?
Yeah, you're breaking up really bad.
Some part. Okay. Well, thank you all for what you bring. Love.
Yeah, it's really bad, Juanita. You're gonna have to either come back in or
Turn off your camera, see if that works.
Okay, is this any better? Can you hear me any better now? No.
So far.
So far, you do hear me better or no?
Yes, go ahead.
You do hear me better? Okay, so I was trying to say that, the greatness that we may feel increases by, endorsement from accomplished performance is really just an acknowledgement of the greatness that is there anyway. And I'm grateful for the way Martha Reeves connected with Sky when I asked her, how do I connect in with the music of Motown, the music of Detroit, to be a part of the healing of the people, of the healing of the spirit of the people of Detroit. And she directed me to Sky. So the greatness is recognized, the greatness is understood. Our own recognition and our own sense of self-worth does increase, but the greatness is of God and it's there. It doesn't necessarily increase because of who we connect and may increase. And I'm just grateful to this whole group because there is healing for our people that is coming forth in the work we do individually and as a group. And thank you so much for allowing me to share that.
Ashe. Okay. I'm trying to read I'm reading what's Empress was saying over here. Oh, okay.
I wanted to hop in and just say thank you. This was a great, interesting conversation, especially because I was singing as well. And I, growing up, my mom always loved to listen to jazz music. She was more of the Layla Hathaway, Joe Sample type. She would listen to that. My uncle was a jazz pianist. John, I always forget his last name because I always call him Uncle John. John starts with the H. I'm gonna think about it. But yeah, he used to play around Detroit, and my mom would always try to sneak away and go to those shows. And I remember growing up as I was singing, and she was like, "You need to have a song ready at all times." I'm like, "Okay." Well, she was like, "Learn summertime, sing summertime. Every time somebody asks you, sing summertime." And so growing up, that was a song she had to make sure I knew, just in case somebody asked me to sing. And since then, you know, with just listening to Billie Holiday and things like that, and other artists, it was very influential in my sound overall. And, you know, I didn't necessarily try to embody these artists, but I do find that when I do sing the songs every once in a while, I like to really try to feel the essence of what they were trying to say. And it's really interesting hearing from your perspective how you all carry that out in your production. And yeah, so I think that's really awesome. Even like, you know, unfortunately, there's a good amount of video evidence, but there's not as many. Like now, every artist got videos every day that they're uploading. And it's not the same with a lot of the artists from before. So like even artists like Etta James, I'd rather go blind. I love watching her performance, because then when I sing it, I'm like, okay, I remember like how she was like singing this one part and she felt that part, you know, and it's like, I really, really love that. So I'm very much so looking forward to learning more about you all and seeing that production at some point. Yeah.
Can we hear you sing Summertime?
Oh.
Yeah,
Five,
I was
six,
right there
five,
with you.
six,
I was
seven,
right
eight.
there with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Da, da, da. I got the music.
Right.
Da, da,
Okay.
da.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. That's a little snippet.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, look at this.
That was beautiful.
Yes, I did get her down to the
Molly, stay
club.
ready.
We know one
Molly,
song she
stay
knows, right? Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Lolly is inspirational to stay ready. And when somebody say 5, 6, 7, 8, boom, it's on and popping. I love that about you. I love that about you.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
That was the one thing in charm school that we learned was always be ready. And that if you are able to do what someone asks you to do, it is not well for you when you don't. When someone asks you to do something and you can, you just do it. That's what I learned in my charm school. If you're able to do it, then you do it. And so I'm always happy when I don't have to convince someone, like what you did, Lala. You said, "Oh, Oh, okay. Okay. Because when you said your mom said you need to have a song ready, no matter what, if someone asks you, you know how to sing that one jazz song. So thank you, thank you, thank you. My goodness. Any other questions? Anyone else want to share anything? We have a few minutes.
I just would like to say that this is my first time joining, because usually at 8 a.m. on Fridays, which is why I need to release this journey of the broke, i.e. job. I've not had the opportunity to participate, but I want to say thank you to every queen that is here this morning, because you have truly enriched my very experience this morning. And this day couldn't be more perfect, with the sun shining. And it just got a lot brighter in here. I had a meeting and I refused to turn you all off, because you gave me exactly the lift that I needed for today. So I absolutely appreciate and love each and every one of you. And to you, I say Ashe.
Ashe, thank you. Thank you.
Ashe.
And
All praises to the Most High.
absolutely. Yeah. I think a good project would be this year, well, not this year, but within this year, that Elizabeth would sponsor the Satin Doll, that we would do a show. Ladies, sisters to sisters, queens to queens, and that we sponsor the Satin Dolls. So Sky, we'll talk about when we can do that, what month we can do that, and line that up, and we're gonna have some good times. I'm telling you, like I said, there's only a few that I don't really know, but the ones that I know, the show is awesome. So don't wait until we put it together. When's your next one? When are you coming out again, Sky? When you start your new season?
The next show is the next 2 shows. The season has started, so the next show will be at the Jazz Cafe, because we always have to go there and do that. And then we're going to do an encore show December the 3rd. And then the next show is going to be at the Strand Theater next year in Pontiac, and that's the big show. So I'll definitely keep everybody posted. Yes, so the next show is Monday, November the 21st. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 8. Mike Bonner is our MC.
Oh my goodness.
So you get lots of laughs in between. And so that's the next show.
That sounds like a dress up
You
party
know,
to me. I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
about y'all.
I don't,
Dress up party.
your 1940 favorite costumes and everything, and I'll have a table reserved for the Elizabeths.
all right. That's the
Yes.
21st, right?
Y'all gonna make me
20.
put on
It's
some
on a Monday. Yes, it's on a Monday, and it's on a Monday. And why did I choose Monday? Honestly, because they didn't have any other days available, but I just put Monday music series, and there you have it. So we're gonna no competition on Monday. It's gonna be a great second day of the week type of vibe. And so it's gonna be the first one this season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that at the Jazz Cafe?
Yeah, that's in the Jazz Cafe. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And thank you all for letting me share all my business with you.
Kadoni, can I ask Veronique her question? Which
Yes.
song grabbed you Oh, wait a minute. You have a different experience because Sky heard you sing. And anyway, what song brings you the closest to Nancy Wilson? And what song is like your favorite of hers?
My favorite is Guess Who I Saw Today. I heard that song. I heard another young lady sing it. And I'd never heard it before. And it was something about those lyrics that just grabbed me. Because I know in my life, I've had many moments where I say, guess who I saw today? And not just because, not meaning physically. I tell people all the time, I don't say a lot about the things that I see, but I don't miss anything.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, guess who I saw today took on a whole different meaning. Sky educated me because one of my other favorites is If I Could. And I did not know that that was a Nancy Wilson remake. I actually sang that song to my children on Mother's Day when they were very little. And so those two songs really and truly are favorites of mine that Nancy Wilson performs. So I'm looking forward to those. So thank you, Sky.
I have a question for Sky and for you too.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Veronique.
How did Veronique? Yeah, how do you sing that song without crying? Because just thinking about the last one you said, I can't even think about it without crying.
That's
Okay,
going to be a challenge.
without crying.
That's going to be a challenge, but for me, it's all a part of being able to embody Nancy, because I'm sure in her story, that song plays a huge part in her life. At the time that I actually sang it to my children, they were 4 and 6. I was 26. I was newly divorced and just going through life. I got to, if I could, and that was it. I couldn't. So the challenge will be to give that song everything that's in me and connect to it as Nancy Wilson. So
For me, strange fruit, I always cry on straight fruit, and everybody in the audience, because I can't tell you the show, but anyway, I sing strange fruit. But Billy's, yeah. Well, I always cry, so we all have a good cry together, because there's no way that I can do it in this climate without crying. The first show I did, I cried and and all the dolls kind of came out. Well, some of them came out, and they were holding the rubbing my back and everything, and then so it became to be a thing. And I would have to let all the dolls know, don't do that. I'm crying, but I'll be okay. Don't come out, because you had all the dolls coming out rubbing and consoling me, and it was beautiful. But the cry, sometimes if you cry in the melody and just get that next note, then you'll be okay.
Yeah.
In most cases. In most cases, yeah, but it's hard not to cry, especially doing some of those songs. It's just they are tear jerkers. Thank you.
Yeah.
And strange. That was a good question.
Strange fruit is an experience with you.
Well, I want to show what's coming up.
Okay.
We have, the cancer patients and survivors. That's Juanita's love. This is her event, and that's in November. Where's it?
17th.
November 17th. Okay, yeah. So and then we have Silver and Gold Networking Holiday
Yeah.
Gala, and that's going to be, it was scheduled right after Thanksgiving, but it's going to be the following Sunday, December the 4th, at the Tangent Gallery. So get ready. Everybody's excited. We're all excited to do this thing. I got the tickets ready. I'm a hum. So there we go right there. All right. Thank you, Queens, for coming today and joining us this week. We got a lot of stuff. Lots of love to share. Hug yourself. Give yourself some love. Thank you, Lolly, my partner. Love yourself. And love the world, because the world needs love. What the world needs is love.
I love you all.
Love you all.
Thank
Peace
you
and
Queens,
blessings.
for being so amazing.
Thank you. Peace out.
Leading by example.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peace out. Peace out.
Peace. Thank you, Queen Aduna. Thank you, Mama Hatu. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Here we go.